Hi.
Remember right before we started, I was like, I'm trying something new.
Yeah.
Well, that was it.
Woo! Hey, experiments are really fun, and we learn a lot from them.
Luke Wallens, are you Pee Wee Hermaning me right now?
No, I'm not.
Are you? Are you Pee Wee Hermaning? Are you
What do you
word of the
mean?
day me right now? That's what
What?
you're. The word of the day is experimentation.
Yay!
Oh my gosh. Hi, Luke.
Hi, Shannon.
Hey,
Hey.
it's Monday and it's
Mhm.
time for us to talk about the topic of the month, whether that topic is on or off the stage.
Off the stage, yeah.
And it's experimentation. All
Right.
year it's exploration.
Hmm.
And this month it's experimentation. Last month it was connection. Go watch the videos. They're very
Yeah.
good. Very good.
Yeah.
If I do say so myself.
Yeah.
But
I'm
this
proud of you.
month, yeah, is experimentation. And this is what I have for us. What if we can't get back from experimentation?
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay. Lots of questions. A couple questions with this. Of course, I got questions. You know
Luke has
me.
questions. Luke has questions. Wow.
I know. I know.
I love Luke's questions.
I love it. So, um, um, it was like, okay, so we tried something and it didn't work out, but we're constantly trying new things, but we can't ground ourselves back to
Ooh.
what we originally thought of,
Yeah.
or are we in like a chaotic spiral?
Oh.
What's happening?
Are we who's that? Dorothy? Are we Dorothying
Yeah.
our lives? Or are we yeah. Luke gets references. Luke gets references. Wow. I some combination, some
Okay.
combination. So here's the thing. When I was thinking, what if I can't get back from experimentation?
Right.
Not necessarily that we've tried something and it's gone wrong,
Okay.
but we've tried something and we have not forever, but drastically or in a big way changed ourselves, you
Okay.
know? And that's physically, mentally, maybe we learned something and now, my God, we just can't be a Karen anymore. Whoa, that came out of
Oof.
somewhere. But we learned something. I don't know. I don't know, Luke.
Yeah.
This is the show.
Right.
But we learned and we can't return. We can't
Mm.
return.
Yeah.
And maybe the return or where we were had our had values set or friends
Mm.
or connections or a way that like a way that we moved through the world, something we believed about ourselves. And now we tried this thing, whatever it was.
Mm.
Like we tried this thing
Yeah.
and it has us, maybe we listened to a new podcast, maybe
Mhm.
we, whatever we did, but we tried it and it's sort of shifted us and we can't get back. What if I yeah, that's the thought. That's the thought.
Okay.
We can't get back. And
Can't
so
get back.
this
Okay.
idea, this what if I can't get back from experimentation? The the thought is like, should I experiment? Like I feel like people are nervous. Like, what if I experiment and I
Oh.
can't get back? Maybe I won't. I just won't experiment.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Got it. So, kind of fearful after experimenting once or
Yeah,
twice.
like the fear of I won't be able to get back on the forefront, and the fear once you went through it, you're like, now I can't get back. I can never be the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
True.
it. And
Because
that's our show. Thank
and
you so much.
done. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. That's yeah. Yeah. I forgot the song, but I knew the motions. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, talk to us. Also, welcome, journeyers. We're talking about experimentation.
Yeah. So like I think that's it's really uh it's a great question. Um I want to pull from personal life in terms of like I went skydiving one time.
Really?
One time. so,
I've
so
never I didn't know this. I'm
yeah.
excited for this story. Let's go.
Yeah. So it was after I graduated college, and a group of friends, was like I was at a birthday party, and they were like, group of us are gonna go skydiving. One person decided not to go. Do you want to fill in their spot? We still have a reservation. I'm like, yeah, sure. I've always wanted to go. That's cool. Great. And one of my friends had told me that if you lay on a table and with your arms up and your legs up, that's how much the air pressure feels like. It feels like, and so I'm like, okay, all right, cool. So like the air pressure, I thought in my mind the air pressure is going to be solid as a table. And so get up there, and two things. One, that was not true. It just, when you skydive, is nothing. There's just, there's
No table.
air. There's no table. There's air.
PSA. It's just air. Have you
Lots of
ever felt
air.
air? Go like this.
Like,
Go.
you
Just
did it. Yeah.
you can feel it.
If you move through air, great. But also, they told us like you have to yell, and I'm like, why do I have to yell? Like, I want to express myself however I want to. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And they're like, no, if you don't yell, you're going to be taking in so much air that you're going to pass out, because the brain can only take so much oxygen. Um, because air is made up of a lot of nitrogen and stuff like that. So, but like, and so, cut to me trying to yell, and it sounded like this, like, for granted, it like the fall
Wait,
is
Luke.
only.
Wait, Luke. How did it sound?
That's what it sounded like.
Great, 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 great. All
Yeah.
right, go on.
So that's what it felt like. But the thing is, like, the fall is only about 3 minutes. You're free falling for about 30 seconds, and then the 2.5 minutes is all parachute, and then
Oh,
down on the ground. Yeah, yeah. So it's very short. But you remember that one. And so, when I got out of the ground, I was like the most euphoric and jubilaic that I could ever be. I was just like, I could kiss everybody. I know. Yeah, it's like, I'm so happy to be back on this ground. This is it. This is it. You know, but the thing is, like, would I experiment with skydiving again? No.
no.
Like, I felt like pretty, like, I was like, but at the same time, if I hadn't done that experiment, if I hadn't tried
Mm.
something out at least once, then I never would have known that I don't want to do that ever again. Um, you know, like, I was like, you know what, that's not, not for me. But at the same time, I'd rather have that experience,
Mm,
than not. Like,
mm.
I'd rather know that, and how much, like, and I have other friends who just love it. They do it all the time, and I'm like, great, cool. I'm glad you're finding some adrenaline rush with it. I too felt that adrenaline rush, but that was a good amount for me. So, that's where I check out. And I'm like, good. Um, but and so, like, and I understand that, like, uh part of experimentation is that you definitely learn something, and you definitely
Mhm.
know a lot more, about yourself and where your limits are, and everything like that. And so, I don't like, and it makes me, I was like, you know what, like, it propelled me in different ways about, like, I'm going to
Mm.
try like, and I'm gonna try new foods. I'm gonna, I'm gonna like try different ways of doing things. Because like, even though I know that I'm not gonna try that exact same experiment again, it did propel me to be like, yeah, you know what, I can try, going a little further with different types of adventure if that adventure isn't for me. um
Mm.
so you can translate
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
There's there's something at the end of that story, this, okay, what if I can't get back from experimentation? There's it What I'm hearing you say through this story, Luke, is
Mhm.
that, and you've said this in no uncertain terms, like in other shows, but we don't completely lose ourselves.
Right.
You didn't touch ground and you were like, ha ha, and I went through a vortex and I'm now William Markel. I don't know. William Markel sounds
Yeah.
great. Uh, but you're not a
Yeah.
completely different person with a completely new soul and a completely new perspective on life.
Yeah.
You're Luke
Hmm.
with a new experience,
Hmm.
and you can draw from that experience what you need to continue to be Luke,
Yeah.
more Luke.
Yeah. Right, right. Yeah, like, and if you think about like each experience as like, well, okay, you're a beam of light, and each experiment or experience, I'm going to say both, is like a mirror. Um, and so, like,
Uh-huh.
when
Yeah.
that beam of light hits the mirror, it's going to go off in one way or another way,
Yeah.
but it's just the angle is slightly tilted just a little bit, so you're going to be on a totally different path, as the angle increases. Um,
I'm taking your uh metaphor, and I even, if we think of us ourselves as the beam of light and the experiment maybe as a crystal, right? And having that light just like refract in so many different ways or so many different colors,
mhm.
there's a feeling of being able to choose one of those things and still be able to trace back through the crystal
Right.
yourself.
Hmm.
um but yeah, what a
Yeah.
wow. Thinking about it like that, Luke, takes a lot of the fear out of this question.
Hmm.
Like, what if I can't get back? Like,
Yeah.
because I think the fear is that you like yourself, or maybe you don't. Like,
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
or anything in between. But how about you are used to yourself?
Yeah.
Maybe you know how yourself operates,
Hmm.
and then taking a choice or experimenting with that like knowledge feels so scary, like you may not be able to come back to something, but yeah, the idea that no, you'll come back to lots of
Yeah.
parts of yourself that
Hmm.
plus you'll have this new experience slash experiment,
Yeah.
and you can, yeah, build from there.
And yeah, like there's and so like, even if you feel fearful about like, coming back from an experiment, like there's the I would say that the learning outweighs the fear.
Mm,
um like there's like, because you've like, it just comes back to, at least you have gone through it, at least you have
yeah.
like tried,
Mhm.
and that's something to be very proud of, and that's something to embrace yourself about. Be like, hey, you know what, even if it didn't work, yeah, well, that didn't work, but at the same time, like, I did it, and
Right.
um and now I know more about where myself is. But yeah.
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 Well, as we're talking about the yearly theme of
Hmm.
exploration, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as on and off, we're encouraging this exploration of self, this exploration of space, in like space being
Hmm.
environment, right?
Yeah.
This exploration of self, exploration of your environment, of your relationships. Um, I was teaching a class recently, and I was talking about exploring your space,
Hmm.
specifically like when we get on stage, right? This is on and off the stage. So here we
Yeah.
go.
Hmm.
When we get on stage, we tend to plant our feet and become what we call in the industry talking heads, right? Like one person is talking to another person and they're just talking and they're having their whole scene like this.
Hmm.
And instead of one person really exploring like where they can go on the stage, and not only just where they can go on the stage, but like the levels they can use, like we talk, even if we're talking about, on
Yeah.
online improv, like where can I go in the frame and on the stage. And where I here we go. Great. So in the world, in the yearly theme of exploration on stage, if you are exploring your space, your height, your depth, the stage itself, it can give you a new perspective, from a new emotional perspective,
Hmm.
a new character perspective, as far as like where you are, how you're sitting, how you're moving. And we are still, even if we're exploring that space, we're still ourselves exploring that space. So this
Hmm.
experimentation is like, yeah, I'm still myself, instead of thinking the experiment is affecting me and how am I
Hmm.
like being
Yeah.
moved by it, but like how can I move it? How can I get in there, be me, and experience this whole thing,
Yeah.
this change, the exploration of space, the exploration of your environment.
Hmm.
um yeah, it feels less scary that way.
Yeah, yeah, and the thing is, we're constantly growing, we're constantly changing, we're constantly learning things. Like even if we try to keep the same, try to get like the same groceries every week, and try to keep the same, laundry system. Like things will change, things will break. Like rent will go up and down. So it's like. But at the same time, like we are, like as humans, we are built to adapt. We're built to socialize.
Mm.
We're built to adapt. Um, as as organic beings, we are built to like figure out and adapt to our environment, and so like we have that hardwired into our systems,
Mm.
and so like so even if you feel like, oh, I can't get back from experimentation, like you'll have this new set of skills that you have, to work from and to adapt with. um,
Mhm.
so yeah. um,
the
mhm.
the game that this is bringing up for me is the, what do we call, it's called knife and fork, and
Okay.
the caller just yells out like pairing, so it would be like, knife and fork, and without talking, somebody it's me, one of us would be a fork, one of us would be a knife, and then there might be a cereal and milk, and yeah. Okay.
um, Ketchup and mustard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Milk and cookies.
Oh,
Oh wait.
okay. Do you
Yeah,
do you get the game? Gosh, are you
yeah,
Journeyer? Come on, Journeyer, play
yeah,
along.
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, yeah. Type in the chat what other pairings you want,
Yes,
and
and
we'll
so
play
we
it.
can see them, and we'll just
You know,
randomly do them every once in a while.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm thinking about this game because you said adapt. You said adapt.
Mhm.
Where
Yeah.
we are set to adapt, and we see things and adapt almost immediately. And improv can help us learn, just like through that game. When I see an external thing, okay, I see. Luke is a knife. I am perceiving Luke
Mhm.
as a knife, or I'm perceiving them as a fork. Okay, it's my turn to adapt to this game.
Mhm.
And this thing about, can can I get back from experimentation? Can I get back? It's like things, like you said, we're always going to be moving. Something
Yeah.
external is going to be happening. And on the stage, or at least when we're playing or practicing for the stage, we get to practice how to adapt without feeling judgmental
Yeah.
about how we're adapting, without feeling the constant question asking, like, Luke, are you a fork?
Yeah.
Because if you were a fork, this is what it is. Like, I
Yeah.
have all these questions, I have all these doubts.
Yeah.
We can experiment with adapting first, and then seeing how that feels in our bodies and in our lives, and how it's affecting our trajectories.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I kind of want to like. I mean, there are a couple of improv games that are coming to mind that we can play.
Well, I mean, if you
I've got a
have
couple.
something that you want to do, we have a tag for
We
that.
do.
We do.
What is it?
It's try this.
Let's try this. I love
Luke and Shannon say, try this. What is it, Luke? I want to try whatever it is that you have for us. I want to try it.
So I usually do this with like improvisers, so wind and unwind, word association, um, and but I haven't done it with two people, and so I kind of want to try it out where like we go into experimentation. We just say it's word association. We go back and forth, but then we try to go backwards. When we get to it, and try to get back to our. Yeah.
Okay, you can do it.
Ready to try?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm
Okay.
ready.
Yeah, I'll start off. Leaf,
Tree,
sky,
blue,
um, space,
frontier,
mm, Star Trek. I know.
lightsaber,
Wow. Wookie.
hair,
Stringy.
spaghetti,
Sauce.
attitude. Oh my gosh, can we remember all of these? Can
Yes,
we
let's
keep
go
going?
backwards. Let's go
Okay,
backwards.
okay.
Yeah, so
I said attitude because you said,
sauce.
and I just said sauce because I said spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Uh, oh no, hair.
Yeah. And Wookie?
Oh no, I said stringy. You said hair.
Stringy. I said hair. I said
Wookie.
hair because you said Wookie. You said
Mhm.
Wookie because I said lightsaber.
Lightsaber. Star Trek.
You said frontier.
Frontier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, space.
You said space because
You said blue.
blue. I said blue.
And,
I said blue.
sky.
Sky. And you said sky because I said what?
Tree. Tree.
Tree?
Yeah.
And then you said tree. I said leaf.
Yes. Yeah.
Leaf.
Yeah.
Sky. Blue. we got it. We got it.
We were from leaf to attitude.
To attitude.
But
Listen, go look over the tape. I dare you to look over the tape
Yeah.
and see if you got it wrong. I
right.
don't think we did.
Yeah, we got
I think
most
we
of
got
it.
we got those connections. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's fun little thingy, but and it's
Please.
not it's not to be like, oh, you must memorize everything. Blah, like we're just having fun.
Yeah, but it's helpful. It's helpful because you are showcasing exactly the fact that we can get that we can remember ourselves.
Mhm.
Like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
Oh, Luke,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
you're so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. how did I get here?
Mm-hmm.
And then being able to retrace, not exactly, it doesn't have to be perfect, but retracing the steps or the choices or the experiments in your life
Mm-hmm.
that got you to the place. And then, wow, like when we're talking about the mirror focus, right? Or the fractals or whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
if you can retrace it a little bit, you can also make choices based on those steps. So looking
Yeah.
forward, you can be like, oh, these are the things that I have done in the past that got me here. What questions do I have about being here? Do I like it
Mm-hmm.
here? Do I want to be here? What little experiments can I do to get me out there, either
Mm-hmm.
closer or further away from,
Yeah.
I don't want to say a goal, but
Right.
just like your values.
Yeah. 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 Coming back to that. It reminds me when you were just talking. It reminds me. Have you ever seen the movie Contact?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
The
Uh,
with John Travolta?
no.
Okay.
With Matthew McConaughey, Jodie Foster.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Come on. Yes. Yes. Come on. Yeah.
So the when Jodie Foster character, the little girl, she was radioing further and further away to talk to people, see how far her radio signal could go,
Mhm.
and it was really. It just reminds me of how she had uh push pins in a map, and then string to like where she would, and then she would tie off like where she would contact and the furthest that she went. But the
Mhm.
thing is, like, like you're always coming back to, you always have yourself, you're always coming back to yourself, and so you're always like, it's always like, part of me is just like, I realize now that I'm answering it and being like, well, I don't believe that, so
This is good. This is good. Talk about what you don't believe, what you thought
yeah.
you believed and you don't believe anymore.
It's
I
like,
like
I don't believe that you can't get back from experimentation, because you're always there. You're always like, you're always coming back to yourself. Like, you're always reviewing, you're always assessing, and that's part of adaptation, of who we are as humans. Like, we always come back to be like, okay, I've tried this out. How does this align with who I am? Is this way off base, or is it aligned pretty closely? And then how can I integrate it back in?
Ooh,
So and or does it just totally misalign and be like, bye bye, we're totally
right.
separate, two worlds? That's fine too.
This is good. This is
Yeah.
it's just I think you're right. There is fear in the question, right? What
Yeah.
if I can't get back? What if I can't get back? There's fear in the question, and there's also untruth. Like
Yeah.
what I'm hearing you say is the untruth in that question is that we leave ourselves somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't I yeah, I don't think so. I disagree with this question. So,
Sorry,
uh,
everybody. No, by question.
bye bye bye.
He disagrees with the
I mean,
question
yeah,
as
I know, I know.
it
As
exists.
is, as is. But I mean, like, I think, it is, the thing is, I want to acknowledge that, yeah, it is scary to experiment, it is scary to try new things sometimes, and it is, scary because, like, what if we can't accept the results that we got, and be like, oh
Mm,
man, I can't believe this is this far, I wanted to be closer to that, or I didn't like being so close to that, I want to be further away from that,
yeah.
um and so it's all like, uh the experimentation is a platform to learn, and you're going to be learning either way, and so, it's not that you can't get back from experimentation, it's just like, it's more about a question of, what are you going to do with the results once you learn.
I I'm not going to say anything because Luke. So experiment with Luke Wallens on and
Off the stage.
bye everybody. Yeah, we did it.